Welcome to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Ever found yourself scanning the crowd, feeling like an outsider, questioning if your experience measures up, or wondering how to leave a lasting impression? Tonight, we're shattering the silence around the biggest myth that holds women back in networking spaces. So get ready to unlock the secrets to commanding the room, even when you're still discovering your unique voice. We'll deep dive into how to turn nerves into your superpower, rewrite the rules of connection, and show up with unshakable confidence. So, are you ready to own your space and redefine what it means to network as a woman? Let's get started. Today, I'm joined by Shiri Gabriel. She's also known as CoachShiri. She helps advance women with high voltage coaching. So, Shiri, welcome to Empowered. I've been looking forward to speaking with you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'm so happy to be here to talk about networking. I'm so passionate about it, love it, and just bring everything that I have to really turn this superpower on with every single woman.
And this is really important because a lot of women don't think networking is important. So let's just jump right in. What's the biggest myth about networking that holds women back?
I think the biggest myth is that women and people in general, they think that networking means sales, means pushing something onto people, getting something. And that's wrong because networking is all about building relationships. It's about connecting with people. It's about, in fact, giving before you actually request or ask for anything. So people really need to understand that there is no sales in true networking, but it's all about building those relationships so you can grow your network and you can foster and plant the seeds to later on really look into opportunities, look into further connections. But that's where it really starts, by building genuine relationships.
Okay, so let's get into it. How can you build relationships without feeling transactional or salesy?
There are two things that are very important, and it's all about curiosity first. What I do, and that's a mindset. That's the first thing that I do before I have any conversation with anyone. I actually tell myself I cannot wait to see what I'm going to learn from that person. What am I going to find out? What am I going to discover? So curiosity is really number one. And the other thing is generosity. You need to come from a place of giving, from a place where you want to foster that relationship and you want to be generous towards that person. So those are the two key things that you definitely need to bring with you when you network.
So before the curiosity and the generosity, what's the first thing someone should do when entering a networking room or event? Because that's one of the hardest things for people to do. They don't know where to go, what to do, who to speak with.
There are two strategies that I recommend. And again, it's based on your personality. If you're someone who's a little bit more of an extrovert, you feel more confident, then just look for someone who's alone and you can actually start a conversation with them. If you're more on the introvert side, maybe a little bit shy, you haven't built your strong skills in networking, find two or three people that are already having a conversation and join in. That's the easiest thing to do because there's always something going on that you can be part of rather than starting a conversation, which is much harder.
And I like the way you said that. It's always easy to go up to somebody and speak to them one-on-one than, if you've got a group of 6 people trying to break in and they obviously know each other.
It is. It is. At the same time, as I said, if you don't know how to start a conversation and there is already a small group of people having a conversation, it's actually easier to join in than starting a conversation from scratch.
So before we go to break, I just want to start this one, and clearly you're not going to have enough time to answer the question, but how do you confidently start a conversation with someone that you actually admire?
I think it's all about appreciation. So you really need to do your homework. And first of all, there is a reason why you admire that person. And whatever that reason is, you need to lead with that. And you need to come from a place of appreciation. Show them how much you appreciate them. Show them why you admire them. And it's okay. It's okay to tell someone that you admire them and tell them why you admire them. That's the best and easiest way to approach someone you admire.
Okay, I love that. So please don't go away. When we come back, we'll have some more tips from Coach Shiri. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Today's discussion, your network is your superpower. So Shiri, before we went to break, we were talking about how to start a conversation with someone you admire. And you said that you had a story that you wanted to share.
Absolutely. So, if anyone is familiar with the book The Go Giver, which is an incredible book, and I highly recommend it, Bob Berg, one of the authors, I wanted to reach out to him so badly because not only was I impressed by the book and I had read it 3 times, but the more I read about Bob Berg and the more I saw him on LinkedIn, because he's very active on LinkedIn, I really felt that connection with him. And there's those moments where when I'm going to reach out to someone who's kind of famous, people know him, he's written a book, a bestseller. Will he even care? Because that's usually what we say. Will he even care? Why would he talk to me? Right? That's the voice in our head.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm going to reach out to him anyways. And what I did is I was very authentic, first of all, and I really complimented him on his book. And I told him the reason I wanted to connect with him because he's a great speaker. And as an aspiring speaker, as I was, I really wanted to get a lot of tips from him. Little do you know that he not only accepted my connection, he replied back to me saying, I am free to talk now. Here's my phone number. Call me. So, the lesson, reach out to people you admire, be authentic, tell them exactly why you admire them and what do you want to learn from them? What do you want to get from them? And let me tell you, they will respond. They might not respond right away, but they will respond because successful people and great people, they actually want to help, believe it or not.
You know what? And I love the fact that you brought that up because I speak a lot. I meet a lot of people. That's how you and I met. We both spoke at the same event. And you reached out, we chatted, and here we are doing the show. And I think it's really important for people to think, you don't need courage to reach out. You just need some good questions so that you can connect with the person and keep the ball rolling. And I want to get to the next question now. Like, what are some ways to stay memorable after meeting someone?
Awesome. It is all about the follow up. We've probably heard this a million times. The money is in the follow up, right? The connection, the opportunity is in the follow up. People sometimes think that networking is exactly like dating, which is there are a lot of similarities to dating. But one thing that is very different is you do not wait to follow up. You follow up right away. Because think about it, if you've left a great impression on the person, you want to make sure that they continue with that thought in their minds, that you continue to be memorable. So the follow up needs to happen right away. And following up doesn't mean that you're going to bother them. It means that you're simply continuing the conversation that you started with them. So make sure that you follow up. Now, in order to follow up, you have to make sure that when you connected with that person and you had a conversation with them, that you got their contact information. Very, very important. And here's one tip. Make sure that you take their contact information, not just give it, but take it, because then you have full control over the fact that you can actually continue the conversation rather than on a date, just sitting back and waiting for the guy to call you.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling ever. Is he going to
Ever.
call? Is he not going to call? What's happening? And yeah, you feel
Yep.
helpless. So now let's still talk about the follow up. How do you follow up without feeling annoying or simply desperate?
Right. If you did a good job during the conversation, because here's what you need to remember, it is all about how you made that person feel. And that's what they're going to remember. If they remember that you made them feel great, that you wanted to really truly build a relationship with them, that you wanted to help, that you were very curious about them, that you were generous, then any follow up after that will never feel like you're bothering them. Never, ever. But rather, if you form that friendship, right? Because by the way, you can really form a friendship in a matter of minutes. And I
Mhm.
think, Elizabeth, you and I
Yeah,
connected right away.
we did.
Yes, we felt very comfortable with one another. So then the door is open for that follow up. And you, if you did it right, you will never, ever um, make that person feel like you are bothering them, but rather they'll be so grateful that you're following up with them.
And the key too is, yeah, you and I clicked, we met, we clicked. I feel comfortable where if I have a question or whatever, I know I can send you an email or say, I need 5 minutes of your time. And you know that you could do the same thing with me. And I think that's really important as well. When you meet people and you click, you know that you have a friend for life. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more networking. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Today's discussion, your network is your superpower. So, Coach Shiri, what happens if I don't have a lot of experience? How can I still make a good and lasting impression?
Everything starts with one conversation at a time. And when you approach it that way, it doesn't matter how much experience you have. I'm going to go back to the curiosity aspect because that's very, very important. So, you might not have experience, but you're curious, which means that you want to learn, you want to advance, you want to move forward. I said this before, every person that you meet, you come on with an open mind of, I'm going to learn from that person. Something that you bring with you as well is clarity. So, where you lack on the experience, you are very strong on what you want to achieve. And when you're clear about that and you can articulate what is it that you want, you will become very attractive in a professional way, of course, and confidence. Another quality that is very, very attractive, regardless of any experience, is the confidence that you bring with you. So I always tell people do whatever you need to do to build up that confidence before every conversation. I, and I'm very confident when I speak, but I listen to music. I meditate many times. And one thing that I do, I am very ready for every conversation. I've done my homework. I've read about that person. I know everything there is to know about that person, that event, that company, anything and everything, because knowledge gives you confidence. So make sure that you do that and you will light up the room as soon as you walk in, regardless of any experience or lack of.
And I love the fact that you talked about knowledge because knowledge is power as well. And that will give you the confidence and the power to go forward. But, there are a lot of people who are say, oh, I'm introverted, I'm shy, I can't do this. How do you build a network if you're shy or introverted?
Beautiful. So, something that I just said about a minute ago, one conversation at a time. I'm going to go back to that. If you try to do or to talk to too many people at once, it could be overwhelming. So, one conversation at a time. Another thing that I find help people, and this is what I coach people on and what I remind people a lot of, is you need to understand and be self aware of what is your networking style. What makes you comfortable? Do you prefer talking to a person one on one? Are you more comfortable getting into a small group of people and having a conversation with you? Do you prefer someone introduce you to someone else and make that connection, that link? So know your style. So then, regardless of the experience that you have in networking, or maybe you're shyer, if you know your style and if you do it one conversation at a time, you will have that much more success and you'll start to build the confidence that you really need.
So, this is a question that comes up often. Why do so many smart women hesitate to ask for help and make a decision? And how do we go forward and change that for them?
As women, I think we've been brought up and society just tells us we have to be, powerful, girl power and independent. And so we've, I guess, gotten to believe that if we ask for help, it shows weakness. And on the contrary, and that's something that I've learned from experience, Elizabeth, I can tell you, I was that woman, right? I was living by myself since I was 17, so I was independent. I have always been the person that people go to for help.
Yeah.
So I told myself the story that I cannot ask for help because that shows weakness. So untrue. And thank God, this is one of my mentors. One of my mentors actually told me this, and this changed everything for me. She said to me, Shiri, how do you feel when you help someone else? So I feel fantastic. She said, great. So who are you to take that away from other people and not ask for help?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was blown away by that. Since that moment, Elizabeth, I've been the person who, whenever I need help, I go and I seek it. And it's actually a strength. Asking for help is a strategy, it's not a weakness.
Agreed. And we talked about that earlier. I know that I can go to you, you know you can come to me. And if you surround yourself with really incredible people, you will never fail at anything because we don't always need to know everything. So please don't go away. We'll be right back with more networking. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Today's discussion, your network is your superpower. And I'm joined by Shiri Gabriel. She's also known as CoachShiri, and she helps advance women with high voltage coaching. So last segment, we've got a lot to cover here. How can you turn casual connections into real opportunities?
You got to always own your space. That's something that you really need to do. And networking being a superpower, that's exactly what you need to do. Just be grounded. You don't have to be louder. You just have to be grounded. You need to be present and you need to be real. That's all you need to remember. And all of that translates, Elizabeth, into just be yourself. That's all you need to do.
So sometimes women feel intimidated in a room just full of professional men. How can they overcome this?
Some women think that when you are in the presence of men, you have to act like men. You don't. You don't. Like I said before, you don't have to be the strongest. You don't have to be the loudest. You just have to, again, be grounded in who you are, what you have to offer, and always going back to something that as women we do the best, which is building relationships. In the game of network, the person who wins the most is the person who knows how to build relationships. And let me tell you, as women, we always win in that game, period.
Well, it's the whole community. It's the village, right? We always band
The
together and
tribe.
build the village. So it's also in our DNA, I think. And we need to use it because we have it. So let's move on. How do you present yourself with a confidence when you're still trying to find your voice? So many young women are asking this question.
What is your voice? Right? It's something so subjective. And voice doesn't translate into being the loudest or being louder. It translates into confidence. It translates into you being able to deliver a good, clear pitch. So make sure that you improve your communication skills. Absolutely. Just by improving your communication skills, that is going to give you the confidence that you need in order for you to find your voice and to be able to let it out in a clear, confident, connecting way. That's all you need to do.
So once they find their voice, what's one thing they can do today to strengthen their personal brand through relationships?
There are two things about the brand, and this is the marketing in me speaking. Make sure that you're always talking about what are you passionate about. And when I say passion, it doesn't have to be something professional or related to your profession. What are you passionate about? Number one. And number two, how can you help? How can this passion that you have, this skill that you have, how can it help people, the community, and the world? That's it. People will remember you for that. That's how you become memorable. That's how people remember your brand.
I love it. I love it. And that's why this show was created. It was through my passion. And I know that you're doing a lot of stuff through your passion as well, outside of coaching. Okay, so how do you navigate power dynamics in professional networking, especially with senior leaders or even with gatekeepers and you're trying to get through them?
That's very simple. It's not about, and remember this because I'm going to finish with this. This is going to be powerful. It
Okay.
is not about what do I need to say. Okay. It is about how can I make this person feel? How can I add value to this person? And how can I make them feel inspired? That's all that it is about, because people don't remember your pitch, they remember your presence. So remember that it's about your presence.
And I love the fact that you're ending on an inspirational note. So, Coach Shiri, thank you so much for coming on Empowered. This was truly empowering today.
Thank you.
Coach Shiri wants you to know that you only get one chance to make a first impression. So, make it a memorable one. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski, and I'm here to empower you and make frugality fashionable. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next time, and bye for now.